Se o silêncio dissesse tudo, sentimento bom que me leva pro outro mundo. A vontade de te ver já é maior que tudo. Não existem distâncias no meu novo mundo, tipo coisas da sétima.
All right, we're here in Irvine, California at UC Irvine. Mark Heinzer from Albino Preto, check Matt Luch. Is that kind of a show your roll? Okay. Mark Heinzer with show your roll in the house. Which is, so you're one of your kids is Albino Preto, right?
Yeah, both of my kids are Albino
So both
Preto.
you?
Yeah, both of them.
It's pretty much like a very show-yo Albino Preto family,
It's
man.
a family thing, yeah.
Right. Very cool, man. How you doing today?
Not too bad, not too bad. Competed yesterday.
Excellent. So you went black belt, masters.
Master 3 middleweight. And unfortunately, I gotten sick prior, but had a great experience. You know, can't win them all.
So what I noticed in this tournament, there's a lot more people signed up in the higher, master, the higher age bracket. So I think there was 20 something people in your division.
Yeah, I had 27 in my division. Yeah.
Where are these guys coming from? I saw at heavyweight master 2 of one of my Want vs. Knee teammates, Ryan Bernardino, just competed at 19 people at heavyweight at that age. Like I don't see these people. Where are they?
Hey, us old guys, we're still alive. We just might not compete as often during the other tournaments, but these big ones bring us out.
I didn't even see this at Nogi Worlds, man. Or even Worlds last year. You just didn't see those numbers. I think adult at Nogi Worlds only had like half a dozen people. Correct me if I'm wrong, but like super heavyweight, it was like half a dozen people this year.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I think Master Worlds this year is going to have a lot. I think there's going to be a lot of competitors, and they're probably going to have to do it the same way they do with Pans, for the Master Worlds.
I noticed in the SF Open they had a closed registration early. I mean, did you notice that for Pans as well, or did they have a little bit better time?
I think they closed about a week early, but lately the IBJJF seems to have been closing. They've been filling up quickly. I know with Kids Pans filled up, and that closed out, I want to say, a week early as well. So, there's a lot more people out there doing jiu-jitsu, which is awesome.
And yeah, you mentioned Kids Pans, like no one's gonna know better than you guys. Like you have like the jiu-jitsu family, like you've got the family life thing figured out. Like a lot of guys trying to find that work-life balance. Like I've had some guys on where like they talk a little bit about it. Like Kyle Hand, like longtime friend and training partner of ours, he's like talking about the balance of it. I was like, nah, like Mark's got the balance. Like just get the whole family in there. Like
it's a true blessing. My kids have been training. My daughter, my son. My wife as well, so it's been great. I'm definitely blessed, and I get to spend a lot of time with my kids on and off the mats at tournaments, and I couldn't ask for more. It set my career back a little bit, but my family's worth a lot more than my career. So.
Yeah, but you're going to look back at it later, and I mean, would it be long nights at the office that you'd really think about, man, I missed the times, or like the time where like all four of you guys are all doing the same thing? You actually love doing it, so.
Yeah, money can't buy the time that I have with my children. I can always look back on those memories, and you're right. I'm not going to be looking back to late nights of not having time with my family, and having to travel a lot for work and things like that. So, it's definitely good. They're getting older now. Maybe I'll eventually look into doing something where I travel more. But for the time being, they're my everything.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. So your youngest is, well, actually both of them now are sponsored by Albino Preto.
Yep.
And you guys have had kind of like a long relationship going way back. Hey.
Coming still.
All right. Yeah, it's crazy. Like you walk around like it's like when you're in the scene this long, like everybody kind of, it's weird.
Yeah, no, well, it's not, no. There's a lot of great people in jiu-jitsu, a lot of great brand owners. And as a family, we're very fortunate to be supported by the same brands. Albino and Preto has been amazing to both of my kids. They've shown us so much support. Show Your Roll has shown me a ton of support as well. My daughter started off with Show Your Roll before they moved her to Albino and Preto, and we just can't ask for anything more. The support's been phenomenal. I was allowed to train at the studio prior to Pans. They gave me gis, clothing, and it's great to be supported.
Oh, for sure, man. They're all solid guys over there. Like every experience I've had, like talking to the guys, just whether it's like the guys that own the place or like the team members themselves, like everybody's been like, real solid, just like real humble people. Like they've got some like legit superstars over there, and like they're some of the nicest people. Like the Bushesh is like, one of the big poster boys. He's like one of the nicest people you could possibly meet. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, he's awesome. I'm very fortunate to have him as a main teammate and even as a sponsor teammate. So it's our Checkmat team is phenomenal. We always have somebody there for us, so it's been great.
That's very cool, man. Like having high level training partners is like, I mean,
I can't say I train with him all the time. I mean, there's a considerable size difference, but he's definitely taught me some things, and he's been great. Even my son and daughter get to roll with him. So.
Oh, that's pretty sick, man. Like, that's a big guy too.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
The seminars you guys do over are pretty cool. I mean,
Yep.
it's pretty like all inclusive though. So
yes.
Which some guy you can love it or hate it, but the guys that are in there really enjoy it. So like I don't know. I'm lucky. I get invited. Like I have the hall pass because I'm old and I've been around forever. So like we can kind of like pass between inside the crack sometimes. And like because I don't know, we're either like non-offensive. Like it's funny too because I do compete.
Yeah.
So, but it's funny though. A couple times where like either I've been competing at the same time as some of my other teammates, or like the coaches just weren't there. Like you guys have like always had like been stepped in, and like I'll see you guys out there yelling, watch the leg. I'm like, all right. I was like, all right, I know Mark and all these guys have my back. Like it's pretty cool. Chris Cold Irons has been a longtime friend as well.
Yeah, Chris is amazing. Very knowledgeable. I've known Chris since I was a white belt. I think I was a white belt when I first met Chris, and he had just gotten his purple. But he's been a tremendous influence on me as well. I let people know I couldn't ask for more support. And the support that I had was overwhelming from my friends in Northern California to my friends and teammates down in Southern California to my greater Checkmat team, and even the sponsor Show Your Roll. Everybody came out and cheered us on, and we're in our corners. So it was amazing.
Yeah, it's one of the things that I don't see from many associations, or maybe it's just because I'm not around them as much. But when guys seem like they come to town to visit for a seminar or for one of these big competitions, there's always like a very solid like cheering session. Like you go and you see like there's a big Checkmat. There'll be like an Alliance or like an Alliance section. There's like a big Checkmat section, and the guys really seem to stick together and support each other. So it's, I don't know, a lot of associations like have like reputations of being like just. They're there just to like collect, fees or tournament, medals and stuff, or like team trophies or whatever. But you guys seem to actually really support each other. Like it's pretty cool.
We have a great support system, and the Vieira brothers from Leo to Ricardo and my main coach Leandro, they're very supportive. They're always there for us. And it, I can speak definitely for Leandro. He's always there when we need him, or whenever I've needed him. So I trust that he's always in my corner. And there's been times where, Leandro wasn't there, and I had other coaches from Checkmat in my corner. They see my patch and they'll run over and shout out instructions to me. It's been awesome.
Oh, that's definitely cool, man. I gotta ask, man. I know, like, DC's been around Leandro for a number of years now. I saw Leandro's big smile in the front row of WWE Royal Rumble when Ronda Rousey made her debut. It was like, has he been like slowly being converted to a pro wrestling fan by DC? Or?
That I don't know, but he definitely told me he had a lot of fun, and it seemed larger than life. So he enjoyed it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy seeing a star that big actually taken back by the experience. Ronda seems like genuinely, first of all, stoked to be there.
Yeah.
Which is cool, man, because like, as much success as she had in MMA, and like she always looked pissed off, and like because I get it, you're under a lot of pressure, but she did look nervous when she first got to WWE, and she still kind of does, but more than that, she looks stoked. And like after someone who's been like raised by like very like Tiger Mom kind of thing, right? To like see her like genuinely stoked about the job she's doing, it's like that's a fucking total 180 from what we saw, like especially after losses, recently in the UFC. So like to see her that she's actually like this happy, it's fucking cool, man.
If I had to assume, she's probably not. This is just an assumption. I don't know for a fact, but I assume that she's not dealing with as much pressure. There's not as much weight on her shoulders as there was when she was fighting. That's just my guess, you know.
Yeah, I feel like she looks nervous, but more just like it's a different job. It's like, oh, go out here and improv act right now.
Yeah.
You don't get to take two. You're in front of like arguably like a much larger audience.
Yeah.
Like the pay-per-view buys plus like they're covering this on TMZ. Like people would watch her fights before, but they're not hanging by like. If every facial expression you make in that job is like, it's a big part of it because it's all character driven.
Yeah.
It's like it's not wrestling. It's more like it's a show about a wrestling show now.
Yeah.
It's like very meta. It's like very much everybody wants to be like an insider.
It's
so
a wrestling soap opera.
It always has been.
And I'm not gonna lie, I've been a fan. I was a fan when I was a kid, and I haven't had time to watch it in a very long time. But I mean, it goes back to when The Rock was wrestling. When, like he was actually actively wrestling, you know, and he had his feuds with Triple H that I was into it. But you know, it's great to see some of the MMA fighters that are making the moves over there.
There's quite a few. Tom Lawler's doing really good. What's the there's another one that's actually been killing it on the independent scene lately. Like, Shayna Baszler. Mm-hmm. I got to talk to her at one of the independent shows about a year and a half ago, and she's on the developmental NXT show in WWE.
Oh, okay.
That's the only one I actually can watch. It's because like Raw's 3 hours. I don't watch TV. I get like an hour a month of television, so it'll be like I'll catch up on The Flash or something.
Yeah.
Like, I can't. I don't know how so many people are able to watch so much television.
The only show I'm jetting home to watch is The Walking Dead. I mean, I freaking love that show, you know. And I was reading the graphic novels.
Oh, they're so good.
And watched the show and what I'm trying to think. I mean, outside of Marvel movies, that's about it. You know, that's what entertains me.
Oh yeah, all the Marvel movies are so good. The DC animated stuff is good, but the stuff that's been in the theaters, like, I'm sorry, I'm a huge DC fan, but I can't.
No, I agree.
Even Wonder Woman was just okay.
It was one of the better DC movies, but one thing I'm waiting for is the Ninja Batman. That's supposed to be coming out soon, and that looks phenomenal. I'm pretty stoked. I pre-order it on iTunes as soon as it comes out.
Have you seen Gotham by Gaslight?
No, I was watching the preview.
Sick.
It looks pretty rad. So
I didn't know I was gonna get that into it. 'Cause, like, I don't like when they change shit. Like the Elseworld stuff.
No, I agree.
It was very cool. It was it starts off strong, and there's some language in there, man. It's just cool, like, because I've read a ton of these Elseworld stories. Like, I'm a big comic geek, like. That's not really a big shocker, but yeah, man, it's definitely a good one. The ninja one, it's like some ninja Joker and Batman.
Yeah, dude, it looks totally rad. It's all in Japanese anime. Oh, you doing a little interview?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Tom? Good to see you, brother.
Our friends from Coalition 95, Thomas Tupper over here. How we doing,
Big
brother?
boys are here.
Yes, sir.
Good.
Seeing you, my friend.
Nice seeing you. You guys keep it up.
Absolutely.
All right, brother. Take care.
See, you can't. We're 400 miles from home, and you can't leave without bumping into people.
Dude, it's because everybody knows you, man.
No,
it's a good thing. It's a good thing.
I look like the Kool-Aid man with this red shirt.
Yeah, I wasn't lying. Like I said, you're one of the coolest dudes, one of the coolest human beings, man. I mean, you know, between you, Gumby, and Prudencio, I mean, you guys are all rad. I mean, it's an honor to know you guys, to be quite honest.
Oh, I feel the exact same way about you, man. It's like I feel like just be fucking nice to people, treat people good, and like,
yeah, you know,
your life's generally going to be better. Like, there's so much divisive nonsense in the world. Like, you're better off just keeping.
Oftentimes, people don't understand how strong a smile is. I mean, you could be walking by somebody who's just had the most messed up day, and you smile at them, and you may have just brightened up that person's day. Or you can be on the road and road rage out because somebody cut you off, and you flip that person off who might have had a good day, might have started off with a good day, and you just ruin that guy's day. So, you know, it's emotions, gestures are very strong. The look on people's faces. I kind of feel like, man, I like smiling now. I smile for pictures now, and I like smiling at people. So, you know, hopefully I brighten somebody's day up.
Yeah, I'm sure many on a daily basis with that attitude. It's good to be around. Man, I found myself in a place where I was so exhausted. Earlier this week, I was at a conference in San Jose, like a big data tech thing, and after just hours and hours and hours of talking to people, they actually shut down San Pedro Square Market for like a private event for the conference.
Yeah.
So it was open food, open bar at every single place. But I was so exhausted. I sat down with my little plate of food, and someone sat in front of me. I just felt myself like, I'm not going to be able to do this. Like, I'm not awake enough to like actually smile. And I'm like, so I was like, there's no real reason to be here any longer. I need to take myself out of here.
Yeah.
I'll be back in a bit.
A lot of times you just want to crack. Hey man, it takes more muscles to smile or more muscles to frown than it does to smile. So. Yeah. But I definitely understand the tired thing, man. I mean, working, having a full-time career, and at the time I was teaching jiu-jitsu, while being a father and being a husband, it takes a lot out of you, There's not many people, I think, that really truly understand that, but I think there's a lot that are starting to, most people, they do jiu-jitsu for a hobby, and it turns into something bigger. And for me, it's a hobby, and it's an art that I love. So have a good time.
Yeah, man. Well, it's made my life so much better, and I kind of recognize that, and I really appreciate it. I mean, you see the athletes out here, like so the adults doing the top of these black belt, and even everything from purple belt up. Like, you just see the ability, just it's insane, right?
Yeah, it's phenomenal, man. It's phenomenal. And what's going on now with this newer generation is you got kids, the blues and purple belts, and they're kind of like my kids. They started off as children, and they worked their way up through the belts. I mean, my son started when he was 4. He's 14 going on 15. So he's going through all the belt ranks and stuff like that. And I'm sure my daughter will do the same. And there's a lot of these guys out here. There's some of the black belts even that went through that. Oh, yeah. So I mean, it's huge. Hopefully someday jiu-jitsu will actually pay a good living, and people will be able to have good careers out of it. But I can't imagine that's going to happen out here in California with the cost of living.
I mean, for some, right? There's, you basically have Bushesha, and a few others, and it comes down to like these guys really being able to go out and brand themselves. You got to be a business person, but I mean, with other sports, are obviously like you're given a little bit bigger egg to start with, right? Yeah. It's
kind of, it's kind of like you got the kid on the playground that dreams of being in the NBA. I mean, you're going to have a handful of kids that actually really make it there. And that's what's happening with jiu-jitsu, and like I said, as professional competitors, I don't believe that they get paid very, very well, so, hopefully that all changes. Hopefully it does change, and these guys get paid what they're worth,
Oh, for sure. I mean, in Brazil, I'm sure there's more opportunities, but again, like the pay scale is not what we.
I'm not 100% sure about that. I mean, I've been to Brazil. It's beautiful country, but I'm not sure if it's better living out there. I really can't speak to that, but I mean, my coach and his brother come from Brazil out here to spread jiu-jitsu, spread something that they love. So.
Oh, it's awesome, man. I've heard so many stories of those guys like really helping guys out. Your one teammate, I guess he was in the favela, and I guess he met Leo Vieira, and I watched him. I want to say was it Nogi Worlds last year? Or,
was it Finfu? Finfu, yeah. Finfu's a phenomenal person. I mean, Jackson Souza, he's another phenomenal competitor, and just an awesome person that I've met. He came up through Ricardo's social project in Cantagalo. So I mean, it's they definitely try to give back. Jiu-jitsu, I know, has done a lot for them, and for me, jiu-jitsu's done a lot for me too. I hope to someday be able to give back to it as well as they have. So.
I mean, you've brought an additional 3 people into the sport, and 2 of which right now are like killing it in the juvenile divisions, right? And as they get older, they're going to be doing so in the adult division. It's one of those things where they do it as a kid. I don't see a lot of kids getting tired of it. It seems like a lot of them do matriculate and wind up, going into the adult divisions and just keep going with it. It's very addictive. It's harder to leave jiu-jitsu.
It is. It's kind of like a chess. It's kind of like a chess game, And when you lose, you think about what you could have done differently. Even when you lose in practice, you think about, I could have moved this way differently, and then you want to test it out. So it kind of always draws you back. But yeah, if it were my choice for my kids, I want them to choose their futures, not let their futures choose them. If they want to pursue jiu-jitsu, that's great. I support them in no matter what they do, although I'd prefer they be engineers or doctors or lawyers or something like that, make good livings for themselves. But, as long as they're happy, money doesn't make everybody happy.
It doesn't, but having that base of something stable, and your body is mileage may vary, right?
Yeah,
so I like the idea that I can go and train every day if I want to. Like I was basically out of the tech thing for 10, 11 months, and I was just doing jiu-jitsu, which is great. And my body liked it to a point, but eventually it was like, hey, buddy, you're in your mid-30s now, and we're gonna go at this speed instead for a little bit.
Yeah, man, that's the tough thing, right? Like you go to bed, you feel good. Maybe you just got done training. You did 10 or 11 rounds or something like that, or maybe you just did 5, and you're feeling good after. Eat dinner, you go to bed, and felt great, but you wake up and what the hell happened, dude? I didn't do anything. All I did was sleep, dude. My wife beat me up in my sleep. No, your body's rejecting all this physical activity you're doing.
Oh man, I had my first sciatic nerve pinch. And
welcome to the club.
I never had lower back pain before, and man, it was avoidable. Basically, I tore my MCL, and I know how to rehab that, and I was doing the PT and everything, doing what I was supposed to do. Like, almost got ran over here. I'm like right under some guy's van. Sorry. But basically, I rushed back in and was trying to do deadlifts, and like my form was just off a smidge because I'm leaning to the right because you compensate.
Oh yeah.
And I didn't even realize it, and I wound up pinching my sciatic nerve. It's like I can't even put a shoe on without help.
I go through that too. I taking off my gi pants, stand up too quick, I get lightheaded, or you twist your back or something stupid. So yeah.
Anyway, man, you got the family waiting in the car. They're going to kill me, and they're plenty capable of it too. So I don't want no trouble.
All right, my friend. It's good talking to you. Thanks
Likewise,
so much,
brother.
Clint. All right, take care, brother. Have a safe drive back.
All right, take care, man. That was Mark Heinzer from Team Show Your Roll.
And we appreciate that. And hey, just think about how much your commute gets better, right? By listening to the freaking head honcho.
That's sick.
The head of Cronin Club, Clint Cronin.
That's right.
That helps me with my commute every day.
I definitely enjoy doing these, so it's a pleasure, and it's afforded me many opportunities so far, man. I've met so many people and trained with so many people that have been really influential in my own jiu-jitsu and martial arts journey over the years. So it's been a blessing. So yeah, man. I just got back from LA. I had a quick trip over there to check out Pans. Some friends competing. We had some teammates competing. Unfortunately, I didn't get to really coach. I wasn't able to get down there until the last day. So basically, the black belts and then the absolute black belt finals and semifinals for some of those divisions. What I'll tell you is that for the Masters division, they were stacked. There were so many people competing in the divisions, like of over 30 years old, because now what they're doing is they're making you qualify. So you have to basically have over a certain number of points you've accumulated throughout, winning and competing in IBJJF tournaments all year. Mm-hmm. So previously you could anybody could just sign up for Worlds, but the only way you can do that now is if you've qualified through, winning other tournaments. Like I think you had to have at least 20 points to compete at Pans, right? Mm-hmm. So that's a thing now. And, But for masters, you don't have to do that. So a lot of guys are like pretty high level are jumping into the masters division because otherwise they wouldn't be able to compete.
Yeah, interesting. I never knew that. So you got to collect points to be able to qualify for PANs.
Yeah.
The gamification of BJJ.
Yeah, it's a good thing. I mean, it's for PANs and for Worlds and for, some of these larger tournaments. It's nice to know that there was some sort of criteria to get in other than just, making weight and fitting into a weight or age or belt category. Yeah. So like earning the opportunity to go compete at Worlds. I mean, Masters is one thing and, it's stacked and everything. There's so much talent in those divisions, but for adults, man, that's really the pinnacle in any sport, really. So it's nice to know that the guys qualify, and it gives you a whole season to work up to get to that level, and hopefully they start doing seeding. Basically, I'd like to see where the two best guys are in the finals, not in the opening round, right? Like see really dig down deep in that after going through 4 or 5 opponents, and then you see that last match rather than having those guys go in the first round and stuff. You really want to see those the stakes high in those dream matches.
Yeah, that's why I love what Eddie's done with EBI. I think
cool.
He's just such a great job, right? I mean, everything by getting Bruce Buffer and the way they structure everything, it just keeps you engaged. And I know it goes for long and people still get tired. I mean, wow, sitting there watching grappling for 4 or 5 hours, anybody could get tired, but it still kind of keeps you engaged and interested in that next tournament.
Well, they have the 10 PQ, which is the 10th Planet qualifier. So if you're from 10th Planet and you want to compete on EBI at all, you have to qualify internally. So those guys fight amongst themselves to fill those spots. So it's not just because you train in Hollywood with Eddie Bravo, you automatically get a spot on these EBI shows. No, man, they fight to see who's going to actually have it, and they publish it too.
So they're like gym wars within, like, let's say Oceanside, and then in Hollywood, and then like let's say San Francisco, and then they go down there to the headquarters for the finals.
What I've seen for EBI 13, the 10 PQ, and Eddie made a really cool speech about cardio and sort of what it takes to sort of be at that top level, which is really cool on its own. But they basically had guys show up from, everything as far out as I think Arizona and all over California. The San Francisco guys were definitely there in attendance. I think Denny was there, maybe Michael as well, like a bunch of those guys, as well as, San Diego guys. So all the 10th Planet Freaks were there in, full effect. And
those guys are fun to watch.
yeah, they're such cool guys. I was bummed I didn't get to see Boogeyman on my trip down to SoCal, but I saw so many people down there that I hadn't seen in a minute, so it was pretty cool. But yeah, the 10th Planet's got it together. Like, I'm really enjoying the no gi or the submission only stuff they're doing.
Yeah,
but
I'll tell you what, man, you inspire me a lot to do things like that, but for my business. Like, for example, right before we got on this, as we were waiting for the mics to heat up, I had my laptop out and I was booking trips for a few real estate conferences, one being in Vegas, one being in Austin, and one being in Anaheim. And nice. I thought to myself, I said, you know what? Like, these are generally during the week, and I usually shy away from it because I figure, you know what? I don't want to make the plunge to get down over there and, get a hotel, and I want to be able to train up here. But, I started thinking to myself, look what you do. You go all around the world and for your passion, jiu-jitsu, right? I mean, you meet people. Look at all the people you've met while being on the road and just going to different gyms. I started telling myself, like, for example, the 4-day seminar in Anaheim, why can't I can go to King's MMA. I can go to Jean-Jacques, right? I can go to a lot. I mean, down, in Anaheim, that whole area, right? I mean, there's so many gyms, right? Or then in Austin, I can go to the On It Academy. I can see your boy Kyle, 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu, Bang Muay Thai over there, right? Or then I can go to Vegas, obviously, is your former stomping grounds, and all the plethora of
Drysdale's, Gracie Umaida's out there.
Why not, Syndicate. Right? Especially when I could do it for a business thing, so I could be like during the day and I could be learning to better myself in my business and make more money and become more savvy, right, in real estate. But at the same time, in the evenings, go and train with these world-class killers. I mean, that sounds amazing. Like, why didn't I do this before?
Oh, man. Since I was in my early 20s, I was doing it. I'd have a business trip out to London or Singapore, Brazil, and, even domestically. Then I'd bring the gi with me. So I'd be in London. Yeah. I'd walk. I didn't bother with the tubes because a lot of stuff isn't as far as you think.
Yeah.
As long as you're in, like, London proper, whatever you want to call it. I'd be down in the old I I guess the business district or what, like we're St. Paul
Piccadilly Circus.
well, like St. Paul's Cathedral, so not that far from Piccadilly Circus. And then I'd walk down Farringdon, and on the way back there'd be a Hodger Gracie Academy on the way to my hotel. So like I would go from work to Hodger Gracie's, go and mix it up over there, train, and then head back to my hotel after. And I would do that. I did the same thing in Singapore. I've done that in Brazil on business trips out there, and all over the US as well. So, you know, it's pretty cool. Like, it afforded me the opportunity to, like, well, first of all, get better, because you get to meet tons of different people, learn different, you know, styles, and, you know, learn how different instructors, you know, share their stuff. But at the same time, it's like you have friends forever now, because it's like you guys, you know, did some work, like really hard work together, and like that bond. It's like, you know, guys, like military guys, like they're friends for the rest of their lives. So like they endured something hard together, and, you know, it's, you wind up keeping those contacts and keeping those friends. I still keep in touch with like people from all of those places I mentioned. I still have friends from Singapore from being out. I only lived out there like a month or something. I still have friends from, you know, Brazil. Like, I keep up on Instagram and Facebook all the time. Yeah, it's.
I think it's super cool, man.
It's been very cool.
Yeah. You meet people, and it's the jiu-jitsu journey, right? And or MMA. I mean, like, for example, when I go to Anaheim, I'm super excited. I've wanted to train with Rafael Cordero in his gym for a long time.
Nice.
So just to head down over there and be able to train with those cats for a few nights, you know, and it's like the complete optimization of the ninja realtor, right? Because you're doing the realtor stuff during the day and you're doing the ninja stuff in the evening. It's my brand. It's my branding, right? It's who I am. And yeah, you meet people, you pick up some swag, you know, you exchange numbers or whatever. So when you're down there the next time, right, you got a place to train, or even buddies to hang out with, to go out with afterwards and show you a good time. So I can't believe I didn't think about this, but hey, it's never too late. So 2018, I'm excited for you.
Yeah, with guys like Rafael Cordero and other, you know, guys like their names in MMA or Jiu Jitsu, it's always a good idea to make sure they're local, because like there are a ton of gyms down there, and if you have a couple in mind, you want to make sure the people that you're actually trying to go out there and see are going to be there when you're there.
Oh yeah,
you know, so like right when it's closer to the time, you know, give a call or like check their social media to make sure they're not like, you know, with Cordero, you know, there might be a UFC event that he has a fighter on in some totally different part of the country. So it's always good to plan your trips, because one of the misconceptions, you know, of Los Angeles and a lot of places in, you know, Southern California, places with traffic like that, New York's another great example. You're like, well, here's these 4 places I want to go check out. I want to go to this place, that place, this place, that place, whatever. Like Jean-Jacques Machado's. Then you want to go to like Gracie Academy. You want to go to 10th Planet headquarters, Eddie Bravo. Or you want to go to whatever, you know, Mendez Brothers Gym, whatever your thing is, or Long Beach for Checkmat and Leo Vieira, Bushesha, right? All those are legends, awesome places to go train some of the best in the world. But traffic in LA, be real, you're probably going to one of them. Like in a 24-hour period, you're probably going to one of those places, because if you look at their schedules and see like, okay, who's actually going to be there that day, you might drive all the way down to Jean-Jacques Machado's Academy, which is a solid bet. You know, Tarzan at any time, he's like one of my favorite people on planet Earth, right? But then you're like, okay, well, I'm going to go to evening class at Gracie Academy. All right, well, you're talking Torrance to Tarzana during the week, because no one's anywhere on the weekends a lot of times. Yeah. You know, they're busy. Whatever. There's just the traffic and showering and eating, trying to get everybody together and whatever. Man, if you're able to do 2 of those in one day, let's just say your body will, you know, do it. The idea that you'll make it, you know, in that amount of time, because, you know, 30-mile drive, like that could be 3 hours in LA traffic, bro.
Touche, man. Anaheim to Tarzana, that sounds pretty far. I'm curious how far Anaheim to Huntington Beach would be, though. I mean, that's still in the same area code. It's still North Orange County, but still, right?
It's not that bad. Like anything where you're going, like, what was his name? I'll remember later. What's Joey's instructor again? Joey Diaz. He's over at Legacy.
I thought he went to Jean-Jacques Michel.
No, he's been there, but he's.
I thought he followed Rogan and went over there.
No, well, not really. I mean, he's been there, but his main place is actually closer to where he lives. He's in Burbank. So, I mean, and that's north of LA, that's north of Hollywood and all that stuff. So like and I was looking at the map from kind of Orange County all the way up there to, to Legacy. And it was pretty far. Even just yesterday, I was down in Irvine at UC Irvine for Pans. And, I was looking, well, maybe I'll go to Tarzan on Monday and train there. And I'm looking at my schedule and like, man, that means I'd have to move my hotel all the way down here. And then after everything's over with, I'm going to have to deal with Monday traffic, and Sunday's going to be bad enough getting back. I'm like, man, I'll be back here in 2 weeks anyway. I'll just wait. Came back and trained at home, trained in Sunnyvale today, but I'll be back there in Los Angeles in 2 weeks. My cousin's getting married. I got to be in Vegas this coming weekend for my birthday. My mom wants me to she's because her birthday's pretty close to mine. And I tend to, when family wants to get together and do stuff, I'm at that age now where I just say yes, because you never know.
Yeah.
Like, what if the one time you say no and then something happens and you ain't got a family no more? Not like some people get sick. Stuff happens. Whatever. I don't want to. Shun family and then it's a mistake later. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, especially if your family has like a history of health problems, right? And you don't know.
Every family has health problems. People die, bro.
Yeah.
Like every single family has some health problem. The problem is you're at some point you ain't gonna be here no more. So, decisions when it comes to family, I try to put it first, and that's it's a little bit different for me. 10 years ago, I was. I just want to be on my own, do my own thing. And now I'm like, my 30s, it's like, nah, when family wants to do stuff, I'm going to do the family thing first, because other shit's other shit. There's going to be lots of other shit. There's always other shit. There's always something bright and shiny and else, there's always the other thing. And there's always going to be other things, but like the family's like, that's like the only one of them.
Yeah.
You don't get to pick them, but, and you don't get to pick when they ain't there no more. So, I try to say yes on the family side of things.
Dude, shout out to Mama Cronin. I got to go check out Pahrump sometime. I've never been.
No one needs to check out Pahrump. It's a terrible place.
I just hear you and freaking Tomas Kamprov talking about Pahrump, and I'm like, man, I feel fun like I don't see
No,
Pahrump.
he's also like stuck in that, I guess, with in-laws that have some Pahrump people. No, it's not a good place. Like, I don't know why the fuck my mom's
Your dreams
out there.
go to die in Pahrump.
Yeah, dude. Well, she's retired, and it's dry weather, which is good for health or whatever, I guess.
Brittle bones and feel the elderly.
She's not even that old, so her lungs are shot. But no, man, it's not a good place. I used to play this game where I would go to the restaurant, the Nugget, the Pahrump Nugget Casino. It's like the one sort of place where they have like a cafe inside, like a casino type, those the cheap breakfast places, they have like little diners or whatever.
Yeah.
And I would play a game called let's see how much money I can tip the wait staff here before they're finally fucking nice to me. And I was up to I think 30% tips because the food's so cheap, and they still just they were unhappy no matter what. They just didn't ever get polite. I'm like, you would think, because I'm going out of my way to be nice to these people.
Yeah.
They had no interest in returning the favor at all.
F you, dog.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not trying to hate on a place, but I go out of my way to be nice to people there. And the only place where they're a little bit friendly is I was told they're nice over at the Grove. They have because they have recreational pot there now. So apparently the people in there are really friendly because they're stoned. But it's supposed to be a really nice spot. So they're helping all of the locals with glaucoma or that are otherwise bored because they live in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, a lot of people say cannabis makes you more sensitive. It makes you more patient. For example, we can be going through our day-to-day and we're just I don't want to hear this. What do you think I have time for this crap or whatever? And then all of a sudden you're maybe, for some, they'll take a little edible and they'll be like, wait, but tell me more. How's your heart? How you doing? I'm like, I don't know. I guess it affects certain people a different way, but it's interesting to see people becoming more sensitive and being more empathetic. And it requires something like that to make them become that way.
Hey, empathy is a muscle, man. You got to train it a little bit. But some people are just miserable pricks. It's okay, man. Fucking Leandro Lowe killed it. He won absolute and what was it, heavyweight at Pans yesterday. He beat Tanner Rice in the finals of heavyweight, and then
I remember that guy.
some Gutenberg Pereira in the absolutes.
Gutenberg.
It's a cool name, man. It's like a Swedish Brazilian name, right? I don't know. Let's see, from the Bay, Tess, who comes to open mat all the time at One World.
Oh, that's that chick with the black belt, right? She's like I think she's in law enforcement.
Yeah, well, yeah, she's. I know she went to police academy, and then I think her husband is a police guy as well. So she won her division.
Nice. She Caltera?
No, she's Ribeiro.
Okay.
Ribeiro Academy, somewhere in the Bay. Who else did well? Her homegirl, she got silver. Gomez. Man, the name eludes me.
One of our guys, Greg Choi. Shout outs to Greg Choi, blue belt. He got gold. I saw him last night.
Did he?
He came to open mat, yeah.
And Jake got gold in his division. Let's see, from the adults, Gianni Grippo, he wound up winning at featherweight. It's pretty cool. JT Torres won at lightweight over Michael Lear Jr. in the finals, which is some good matches there. Keenan Cornelius, he won over Muhammad Ali.
What?
The Muhammad Ali guy.
That's Ali with a Y.
That's and then who else? Kishinho, he got knocked down in the semis. Joao Miao won at light featherweight, so won 6-4. Oh, cool. What academy is he?
He's One World. I'm pretty sure he's One World. I see him all the time at One World.
Yeah, I guess he is, huh?
Yeah.
Well, what gym is that below? That ain't One World. Or was he just visiting?
He may have been visiting over there. You know, I don't get to One World that often during the week, but I do see him there on Sundays, and I know him from One World, so pretty sure he's a One World guy. There he is.
Pretty cool. I got to.
That's a nice medal, bro. Look at that.
Yeah, no, they're very nice. They're very nice. The UC Irvine Event Center is a pretty cool little venue. Or it's a pretty big venue, actually. I think they had 7 or 8 mats going at once.
Snake won gold too, right?
Yep. Yeah, he won on like the second or third day. Nam got knocked out, I think, in his first round.
Nam Deasy, yeah, you're right. That's what he told me. Yeah. Then David Mitchell in the quarters.
Yeah, he won his first one by a straight ankle, straight ankle lock, and then I think choked his second guy. Nathan Mendelson, the homeboy from Coalition 95.
Another Clint Cronin. Alumni.
Yeah, man, that's
podcast alumni.
He's down with that Cronin club. Yeah, he beat his first opponent with a nice bow and arrow choke from the back.
Nice.
And then he lost by, I believe it was a footlock in his second match. But I think he'd been previously injured in a similar submission, so he was pretty bummed. He was kind of hard on himself, and it was just like, sucks. That's him right there. That was the choke. I was standing right there with with like the whole team, Claudio Franza. We were standing like right by the mat. That was mat 4.
Oh, okay.
Robert Drysdale was right over there. It's cool to run into him down there. He's like, when are you coming back to train again? It's like soon.
This guy's cool. He's really cool to watch. I watched him that card that Tyler and David Mitchell fought on.
Yeah,
they went to fight to win. Yeah, he was there, and his stuff's pretty interesting. I mean, I didn't know too much about this guy until he was on your podcast, and then I went and researched him and saw some of his really cool rap videos of him doing Portuguese and English. And I thought that was pretty cool. And I see him traveling all around the world. Just recently, I saw him. He was in Portugal, and he was competing over there, too, for an IBJJF tournament.
Yeah, him and his lady, they're like jet setters, man. They're cool. Yeah. Like, he's got that CBD sponsor, Revivid.
Yeah.
Shout out.
We're all about that.
Those guys always hook me up. I love this. Like, they keep me non-broken.
Yeah, hey, Nathan always was talking about that. He goes, hey, if it wasn't for CBD, I mean, I wouldn't be able to train like 9-10 days straight or whatever like I have been. Like he mentioned that.
Oh yeah, it definitely helps. It
recharging the batteries, bro.
They have some USADA legal like Revivid Sport stuff, and so that's helped me a lot with my sciatic nerve pinch stuff, and I think it made my knee heal a little bit quicker. But that's anecdotal for sure. I'm not a doctor.
Yeah. With me, I don't know. I'm all about like anything holistic, like even include it with what the doc would give you. But throw a little CBD in there, throw a little Tiger Balm, throw a little cryotherapy. You know, throw some ice too while you're at home after cryo.
I use all of that stuff,
Yeah.
everything,
Why
everything.
alienate anything? You want to get those chances, work all of that stuff, anything that you can to speed up your healing. Bro, I recently got one of these balance discs. $16 from Amazon. My chiro was telling me about this. You stand on it with one of your legs, and just work on your balancing. And apparently, it works your ligaments out a lot too. So let's say if you're having a knee issue, throw that in the mix as well. Have a whole cocktail of things for your treatment.
Oh yeah, like cryo chamber therapy, or you got, if that's expensive for you, just take a little car trip, across the hill over there. The ocean's nice and cool. Jump in. No,
or bro, your former freaking the company you used to work for, Groupon, man. The Groupon has, I've gotten like things in Sunnyvale, in Willow Glen, in Mountain View, these Groupon deals, and you get 5 of them. And yeah, of course they try to upsell you once you get there. But you don't be like, oh, I don't know.
That's when you do what everybody else does, like try to bounce out to the next one. There's a bunch of them.
Groupon is the way, man, and you put me on point with that.
Yeah, you can get some pretty good deals if you like, because there'll always be coupons for local deals. So you get the coupon for the local deal and add that to whatever the deal price is anyway. Mm-hmm. And then it's funny though, like a lot of the companies will try to hustle. So if you ask, so you'll go for cryo or whatever the deal is, and you'll ask, can I use the Groupon? I have a Groupon. They'll say, did you pay for it yet? Mm-hmm. And sometimes they'll try to say, well, just give us the same money and we'll honor the deal.
Yeah, they always tell me that.
Always, which is like, it's totally a breach of contract too. They're not supposed to do it at all. I had one tell me that a while ago, and I'm like, I work at Groupon, right? They're like, I'm like, yeah, you guys aren't supposed to do that, but I really don't care. Just whatever. You know
who's been notorious for that, just in my own personal experience? The massage spots. You get a little 60-minute massage, you get a couples massage, whatever. In fact, I went and got one today. And they're always like, oh, did you already pay for it? We'll just honor it for you.
Oh, well, yeah, because a lot of people don't realize that it's more of a marketing tool. I mean, as a business owner, it's your whole deal is you're supposed to be able to earn that repeat business. Like once you get them through the door, any sales guy, your goal is to earn that customer for life. I mean, if you're a car salesman, do you want to sell a car, or do you want to sell them all their cars that they or their family ever buy? Yep. Well, like that's the point of sales, man. But they don't realize that. They just want they're very short-sighted, and this isn't just me praising Groupon. I don't fucking work there. I don't really care. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's more about people needing to learn, that if I were to invest money in a marketing or an advertising strategy, let's just say that Groupon is a marketing tool. Let's establish that right off the bat. More people know about Groupon than you. And to appear on their search results, that Groupon, that you're listed there, and you're like, oh, it's a legit business, they're on Groupon, whatever, right? Mm-hmm. Like that's why you go to Google, because more people know the word Google than fucking you. Yeah. So you're on this search engine, you have a deal on there, and because they're able to find you, you're supposed to offer some sort of great deal that people are like, oh, that's a good value, whatever. So Groupon did their part. Like you're there. But you coming back, like that's down to your ability to like either deliver the best possible service or deliver some fucking tremendous personalized, human experience where people want to be around you. They want more of whatever you have. Because otherwise, like you're just saying, people are just going to bounce in the next cryo chamber therapy place. Yeah. Well, it's on that cryo chamber therapy place to
retention, right? Retain the customer.
Retention, but to basically provide more value, make them feel like their life is better because your business and you are in it.
Oh yeah, totally. What's your value proposition, right? Yeah. Why should I stay here?
Yeah, exactly. Anybody can talk about ROI, right? And you go into a massage place, and I mean, showing up at, with a Groupon over there, they're like, you're expecting me to do what for a Groupon? Like, you ain't going to no rub and tug with a fucking Groupon, are you? All right. That ain't no good, man. That'd be terrible. You're like, you show up over there and you're like, I have a Groupon. They're like, we'll get you Bertha.
Yeah, and I'm like, no, get the hell away from me.
No,
Actually, I need this. Yeah. Especially, dude, the way we put our bodies to the ringer, man, right? In jiu-jitsu and MMA just in general. Like, those massages come in clutch, man. Today, this is the first time I almost fell asleep during mine. I mean, granted, it was 90 minutes long. And I got one of those Thai massages, man, where they grab my hand.
Oh, shit.
And they're behind me, and they just stretch you out, and they use their knees. Like, they'll just jump on your back with your knees and just start cracking your back. And they're just like, walk on your back, and it's like, crack, 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 crack. And it felt so good when I walked out of there.
Did they have you wearing that tunic?
Yeah, the pants. Yes.
You're like,
that was the first time and it reminded me, in Iran, where my parents are from, there's cities and there's small towns and there's villages and there's a lot of green areas in the north, right, with like lush forests, and then in the middle of the country there's some desert, just like in the States here. And in these tribal areas, they have people that still kind of dress like that. They're like nomads, right? And they're like sheep herders, goat herders, things like that. And that totally reminded me of that ethnic wear. But yeah, I had like those athletic boxers on, and then they just had me put one of those on. It was kind of funny. But it works. It's more sanitary. I like it.
Yeah, I remember going to a Thai massage place in off of Saratoga or Winchester, one of those. Actually, I was waiting for the phone repair place because there's a really good Peruvian restaurant in that plaza. There's a kind of shady looking massage place, and there's this Thai massage place in the corner that looked pretty legit. I always feel like if they mention it's a Thai massage place, they're not going to try to touch your junk. Like those are usually pretty serious,
Yeah. Well, to piggyback on what you said, I'm sorry for interrupting you, but as you were walking into the door, by the way, I drove all the way to Belmont for it, but as you were walking into the door, they said, real massage only, or something like that. I'm paraphrasing it now, but it said something like, real massage parlor equals real massage only, or something like that.
Well,
it was completely like...
I appreciate the real massage aspect of it, because like I'm not trying to get molested at these places.
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't know, whatever people got to do to earn a living. Like, I'm not hating or anything, but I'm not part
Just
of
me out of that.
Nope. Like, sorry, I'm not interested. Yeah. I'm not trying to get groped. It's gross. Like, I have a germ phobia bad enough. Like, it's hard enough for me to do jiu-jitsu and have to shower like before and immediately after. But the idea like some stranger fucking, hell no.
Yeah, dude. At the end of my workday, my brain almost feels like Swiss cheese. Just like just holes everywhere and just so tired. That's the last thing I'm looking for. You want to just go in there, relax, and just have your back cracked, have you get realigned. It's great. It's a great feeling.
Man, just being on my feet for 3 or 4. So last week, to kind of catch everybody up, I was at a conference just basically talking for 4 days straight, having to do social like networking type events after. And I went from that, where I'm still sort of training at night early in the morning, 6:30 a.m. for the teaching / training, trying to hit weights a little bit because the conference was starting at like 10 a.m. So I was able to get, some activity in the morning there. And then Thursday night, I got to do 7 o'clock jiu-jitsu. No, I did no gi, followed by the 7 o'clock gi fundamentals class. Then I taught at 6:30 a.m. the next morning, hit the gym, whatever. Saturday, I went from standing on my feet and / training to Saturday driving to LA. So I went like Friday night, got there, really late on Saturday to LA from here. So, figure like, no, it's Irvine. So it's like 350, almost 400 miles total with, a little bit of rain. I'm cramped up in this racing seat. Like I got those Recaros and I have an Evo. So, it's cool in town or on a track, but long distance, the road trip stuff, it kind of messes with your back. And
you got Bailey snoring in the back?
Nah, I just want just me. No dog. Dogs stayed home. Like she got the fucking the sleep treatment. Fucking she had her babysitter here. Fucking anyway. Then I was on my feet the whole time there. I did a little podcast with Mark Heinzer from Show Your Roll, or / Checkmat or Luch or whatever. Like all of those things. He's with all of those. I feel like because he competed the day before. and then, drove right back from there. So it was basically like standing on my feet, then sitting in a car. So this morning I woke up and it felt like I'd basically been in a terrible car accident, or I just done like a tournament myself. It's like all that sitting. So today, man, it was like, massage sounds tremendous. But I was like, nah, I'm just going to wash my car, even though it rained. I still have to wash it after I get back from a road trip, like the interior. Mm-hmm. So did that, and then hit training tonight, and actually like moving around on the mat felt better than, I don't know, just like sometimes you just have to like, crack your knuckles and just like feel better by doing even,
screw it.
Yeah, like doing even more.
Bro, that's when your rumble roller and a little bit of CBD come into play.
A lot of bit of CBD.
Right? With that, especially that rumble roller, but shout outs to Anthony Baker who put me on point with that. I got a rumble roller from Amazon. I have it in my van. I keep it there. And sometimes when I'm at home, I'll go grab it out of that. If I'm in the office or even at One World or AKA, and I'll just roll a little bit, and it helps. I mean, it's not the same as getting a massage, I know, but as the saying goes, beggars can't be choosers, and when our time doesn't limit us to go and get like an hour massage in the middle of the day, dude, that thing comes in clutch, man. Have you used one of those before, rumble roller?
That's the one where it's like kind of notchy, right?
Yeah, it has like the grooves in the teeth. Bro, it really gets like let's say when your calves are tight or your quads, whatever, you just roll on that. It feels a lot better than your actual foam roller because it just really pushes into the muscle. It just like digs in there. It just, those like when you got like a knot, it's perfect for that. Or even your back. Yeah, I like using it for that. Hamstrings, quads, back, side rolling, like you name it. I recently got one of these lacrosse balls as well, and I use it on my back. I use it on a rotator cuff because you know better than I do, right? With like those shoulder locks that we get into all the time. This helps really open up some of those muscles. And even my chiropractor was telling me for the bottom of your feet, when you just roll it on the bottom of your feet 1 minute each time, just for each day, it does a lot with your posture, and he said some other things I don't recall, but yeah, it's supposed to be good.
Nice. The one I usually use is, first of all, I use yoga blocks a lot to try to open up my upper back and stuff and chest. Mm-hmm. It's good to sort of just as a chest opening type deal to, there's a lot of ways to use them, but I use those, the harder foam rollers, like the PVC pipe one.
Yeah. I've seen those before.
But, what I usually do is like, so the texture and like how, squishy, I guess you want to call it, the foam roller is one thing, but also like the surface that you're foam rolling on. So if your floor is carpeted or a yoga mat or like jiu-jitsu mat or something, that's just going to add to the sort of like, the shock absorption or whatever. Yeah. So if I really want to I'm going to be on a harder surface with that roller, is that you'll actually, it won't be absorbed by the floor. So like if you take a foam roller on carpet and roll around a little bit, even though it's not going to roll as smooth as, you're still like, you're not going to get as much out of it as if you're on a harder surface.
Because the friction?
Yeah, well, it's just, it's absorbing. It's absorbing. You're sinking into it. So like you're not getting, it's just going to be a lot softer. So the rumble roller, like you should try it on different surfaces, like a yoga mat versus the floor versus
That's a good point.
Carpet. So if you had like a hardwood floor or whatever, you can still put the mat down, but just like for your body to rest on, if you're not going to, if you're going to be bridged up versus if you're going to, have your heels on the floor. And then, definitely, how much weight are you putting on from your own body, like in whatever part you're on. So if you're bridged up in the air versus like kind of being, resting on your heels when you're doing your upper back, for example, is like you're having a lot less of your weight depending on the position, actually coming down on that roller. So the more of your body weight that's on there, it's going to have more of an impact, right? You're going to.
So yeah, that's interesting. I want to try that. So like in my house, bottom floor, there's carpet and there's a rug on top of that. And that's generally when I foam roll on that surface, right? I should compare and contrast that with, let's say, the hardwood floor in the dining area and let's say the mat at the gym and see like, what the results and if I can tell the difference.
Have you ever tried just like kind of being like dead weight with your arms and legs out over the foam roller and have somebody like pull you across it?
I haven't had anyone pull me across it, but I definitely do that where I just lie back and like I'll go like to the like my bottom like lower lumbar area and then just like go up and I try to have like, let's say my head and my calves touching the ground, and I just try to like stretch it out and just kind of keep that position. And sometimes it'll crack my back, and it's a good feeling.
Yeah, if you do kind of just go dead weight and then just have somebody kind of slowly pull you like by the hands or by the ankles across, like slowly across the foam roller, man, that is because a lot of times you'll be on one of those foam rollers, but you're kind of like resisting a little bit. Mm-hmm. But yeah, when you actually fully like kind of relax into it and actually exhale as somebody kind of pulls you slowly across, your back will really start lighting up like popcorn or whatever you want to call the sound.
Yeah, I love that feeling when it's cracking too. Like, oh yeah, because you get that euphoric, it just kind of like breaks, and you get that lactic acid breaking up. That carbon dioxide goes into your bloodstream, and you're just kind of like,
yeah. Good feeling. What was the one? I think the biggest sort of back cracking popping sensation I think I've ever had was on a foam. Was it no, it was when I was doing the wheel pose, like it's a yoga chest opening thing where basically a full back bridge. Mm-hmm. And the first time I was able to actually like fully go into like a deep wheel pose. I don't know what the real yoga name is for it, but
is that that thing that I do sometimes when you're on your hands and your feet? And you kind of like bridge, like you can put like, let's say something on your stomach.
So you bridge all the way up and then you walk your feet in.
Yeah, yeah.
And like that, like it basically, my whole back and like chest and everything popped. It was like the biggest relief I've ever had from doing any sort of like adjustment or anything like that before. It was that position. So
it's almost as good as going to a chiropractor.
No, this was better. This was like, I never really hadn't like really been able to open my chest like that much before, and because I always had really tight shoulders from like all the weightlifting and stuff.
Yeah.
So it was very it was very gratifying. It was a very good feeling.
Do you ever stretch out your shoulders?
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah, like my chiropractor told me about that too. Like he calls it the Y stretches. So I'll just grab like the side of like a door handle like this for 1 minute, this for 1 minute, and I'm kind of like making a Y with my body where my hand's like 45 degrees, and then parallel with the ground as well. It's kind of like an X stretch is what he called it. And yeah, dude, that helps. And apparently he was telling me with Jiu Jitsu and a lot of these combat sports, like we tend to kind of like hunch, kind of like how wrestlers do. And then when you stretch that part of your body out, it becomes a little bit more leveled, like from your front and your back. So basically what I'm trying to say is it helps you with your posture. So it's just like a really good feeling. And I've been doing that every day now. I throw a little reminder in my phone. I stop like around 2 o'clock in the middle of the day, do a little stretch. It makes me feel good.
Very cool.
Yeah, I'm about that. So, Clint Cronin, Austin, Texas, September.
So
hey, Kyle, if you're listening, I'm going to come see you.
Uh-oh.
On it Academy. I'm going.
Don't go threatening them with a good time now. So, you got a conference coming up out there?
Yeah, real estate conference. The Ninja Realtor must do his realtor thing here and there. Dude, I closed the deal on Sunday, which made me really excited. I had an amazing open house weekend for my listing,
Milpitas?
which made me happy. Milpitas, that's right off of Calaveras. My first deal in Milpitas. And yeah, because the market's been so crazy, we were getting outbid in their initial number one area, which was West San Jose, ideally Moreland School District. They really wanted their future children to go to Baker Elementary just because it's pretty high API scores. We just kept getting outbid by a lot. So moved over to Sunnyvale, Lake Haven area, looking at some properties that they can rehab a little bit. I mean, I have a construction crew that I can always send over to clients and help them with that. So we were looking over there and same deal was happening. I mean, I'm not sure if you saw that article in the Mercury News about that 846 square foot home in Sunnyvale selling for $2 million, guys.
What was the square footage?
846 square feet.
Jesus Christ.
Listed at 1.5. They took a preemptive offer at $2 million. Closed like in 5 days, something like that. And yeah, so I mean, just to put it into perspective, it's about right now a third or a fourth of what we're normally used to seeing for inventory. and the market's been hotter than ever. I mean, with the jobs in this area, right, and how the likes of NVIDIA, shout outs to Fuki, Apple, shout outs to like, I don't know, half of our jiu-jitsu team, and Google and all these other companies that are just expanding in that area. Google that bought that area in Sunnyvale by Chavez Market, for Fair Oaks, and building all those properties in that Deer Duran area, right across the street from the SAP Center. And I live in Communication Hill, so I'm really curious to see how those property values will be affected by that. But yeah, so I mean, they're just expanding, and they're bringing in this talent, and we need a place to put them. But it's just been getting so packed, and that's why if you notice, if you go towards like the more tech-centric areas, like let's say Sunnyvale, Santa Clara, like just drive down El Camino, and you'll see a lot of these older shopping centers being bought up by these property development guys, and they're building these condominiums, like 10-story condominiums. They're going for the high density living just because, there's not enough land, right, for people to buy these single family homes and own 6,500 square foot of lot. It's not really happening these days anymore. So they're starting to build upward. So we see that trend, and then we kind of have to shift our focus and kind of be mindful of that, right? Because these new tech buyers that are coming in are going to be looking at these condominiums. So
are you noticing a lot of cash offers on these properties, or
a little bit less than I used to see? I'm still seeing them, but not as much as I did last year. The government in China is putting some restrictions on like sending money over to the States.
Really?
Yeah, just because a ton of money was being taken out, because China, right, as most of us know, it's still centered around a communist government. So
sort of.
You can buy right? Yeah, very capitalist friendly communists. I mean, I know it sounds like an oxymoron, but that's another story. Apparently, you can never really own the land that your home sits on. The government still owns it. It's your home, but you don't own, like here, right? This is my property. This is my land. Get off my land type of deal, right? Over there, it's not like that. So these people with a lot of money, what they're doing is they're taking that money, they're coming to the States, and because the economy here is more grounded too, it's more stable, they're purchasing the homes. I have customers who for example, I had a deal once. I had never met the father. The daughter was studying here at Dianza. She used Facebook Live, or one of those, I think it was, or FaceTime, to show the dad the home, and he wired the money through the embassy. But now, since you can't, let's say, send a $1.1 million lump sum, I hear that they have like a 20 or 25K cap. They're sending different increments. Okay, Grandpa, you're going to send 25K to Kim, and Grandma, you're going to send 25K, and your cousin and your brother and your sister are going to send it, and then that's how they get the money. So it's really interesting. They find these loopholes around it.
Are you seeing any crypto payments?
No. That I haven't seen. Did you see the market? How apparently the SEC required them. I was watching Bloomberg a few nights ago. I do it every night while I'm eating dinner. It's like me being the creature of habit I am. And they were talking about like apparently all of these Bitcoin companies or blockchain, whatever they're called, whatever the buzzword is today. They basically have to file with the SEC. And ever since then, there was a huge stock plunge. Another one a few days ago.
Oh yeah, there's so much of Asia has been trying to really regulate on that. China, they do regulate the cryptocurrency thing, but I mean, there's a lot of people that just don't follow that. They do whatever the fuck they want anyway.
Yeah.
There a lot of them just use VPN servers and just make it seem like they're from somewhere else. And they have their own cryptocurrency there, Neo, which is like the official. I don't know if you go so far as to call it like the official Chinese one, but it's definitely allowed in China. And that thing went from pennies to $100 and something bucks overnight. Just in parallel with the Bitcoin stuff falling, because I mean it's what is it back to like 11,000-12,000 again, or 10,000, something like that.
Bro, I just remember the map, and I just saw it went from its height in December and how much it's gone down. It's been significant. But I still don't know too much about Bitcoin. I mean, I understand what it is.
Neither does anyone else.
Yeah? Because, Clinton, educate me on this if you know better than me. I see a banknote, right? I can take out a $20 bill in my wallet, and I can look at it and be like, okay, is this piece of paper worth $20? No, but there's some gold that I'm not sure if it's still in Fort Knox or not.
There's nothing.
Okay.
There's
Because I thought there was something that backs that promissory note, right?
Debt. It's backed by debt. It's an idea.
Okay.
Like what they used to do to measure sort of what money is worth. It would be like, a standard bag of groceries, like milk, eggs, and so on and so forth. Like, what do you get for $1? What do what does a standard bag of groceries cost? You'd go basically, year by year on that to get an idea, like what is where is inflation at right now, so on and so forth. But no, it's based on an idea. There is no silver, there is no gold. You have a Federal Reserve. It's based on the debt on the dollar.
Okay.
Which sounds like an oxymoron, or I'm kind of talking in circles. Like, the value of the dollar is based on the kind of appraisal of the debt on the actual dollar itself.
Yeah.
So we're basically taking a reverse mortgage out on debt. No, there's no money. There's no Fort Knox full of gold or diamonds or silver or anything like that. No, it's based on debt.
It's interesting when you think about it, right? Like, what is the value of this money, and who says that this is worth $20, right?
A private company named the Federal Reserve.
And then you get into this whole, right? That's it. Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, but then you get into this whole thing, like when they need to stop the circulation of currency, when they print extra money, and that's how you get into inflation, right? And what causes that?
You don't even have to anymore, because everybody's talking about cryptocurrency and digital currency, but the majority of payments made now, I mean, they're with cards and with cards via online or PayPal or Venmo and all this sort of thing. So you really don't. How much cash do you really handle in a day?
Rarely, and I hate cash. Yeah, when people are like, cash only or whatever. I'm like, dude, what? At least give me my credit card points, yo.
Well, that's everyone. So, I mean, you don't even really need to circulate more or less of anything, because the majority of money dealt with on a day-by-day basis is digital anyway. It's just, you're putting a credit card in here, you're PayPaling this, you're Venmoing your rent to your landlord, whatever. So it's even easier. But I mean, it's funny. You're saying that the value of the dollar is based on an idea, and it's based on somebody, setting some appraised value to it. And we're supposed to just take it as gospel, and that's how we deal with the currency. And then people are like, well, what's Bitcoin then? And it's like, oh, well, at least Bitcoin's based on some computing power, and there's a set number of them, right? Like, and the difficulty of obtaining them, it's harder and harder based on the limit, the amount of them that are left in the wild to actually be mined, right?
Yeah.
So you mine Bitcoin. Some cryptocurrencies don't do that. There's just a set number and that's it.
That's when you lose me, by the way. I don't understand that mining of Bitcoin.
So you would run a piece of code or a program on your computer or server or whatever. You could run it. There's apps where you can do it. It's like MinerGate for your phone. You just run the damn thing, and it sits there and uses your graphics and your GPU and your CPU, depending on which kind of cryptocurrency it is, to solve these like complex like math problems. And you're in a pool of other people that are using their computer processing power together, and you're trying to solve these equations. And as you crack them, or as you solve them, you get some blocks, right? And those blocks have some associated value to them. And from there, like, that goes into a wallet. You'd have, think of it as like just a digital wallet, and then some amount of Bitcoin or some amount of whatever currency is divvied up and given to you once your transaction, or once your solving of said math problems is verified by some central verifying pool or whatever.
Okay.
And from there, like, they accumulate, and the more horsepower you have in your machines, the more efficient you're able to solve these. But the reason mining isn't as efficient anymore is because graphics processing units are fucking very expensive. So like video cards for gamers, like gamers are getting pissed off because the video cards are getting so expensive because of the demand for them based on the mining. It's very popular. You go to Craigslist trying to get a video card to play your whatever the fuck video game you're into on your PC gamer guys that build their shit, right? Well, those the same graphics processing units, the same video cards that they play these high-end video games with, those are being used for Bitcoin mining and other cryptocurrency mining. So the price of them is like tripled.
So is it because like they conduct heat or something? Like am I completely
Electricity.
Electricity?
It's,
Like for example,
it's fucking
like,
expensive to run them.
this is how we got the term Silicon Valley, right? With silicone chip boards, right? And then they use these trace elements, I don't know, selenium, whatever, platinum, all these different things, right? Like in a computer. Am I?
Well, I mean, if you were to run your PC under load, like full blast, like editing video or playing video games all day, and let's say you have 1,000-watt power supply in your PC, let's say, like, and if you're drawing damn near 1,000 watts 24 hours a day, that's basically the same as like a high pressure sodium grow light if you're growing weed. So you're going to be spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars a month on that computer, right? Just like you would if you were growing pot in your garage.
Yeah.
Well, apply that to this currency thing. Like you're mining Bitcoin right now. Can I mine more? Can I make more money with this Bitcoin, mining stuff than it costs to run the machine? And running the machine, it's just like, well, how much does my power cost? Well, there you go. It's going to cost, and then, to cool it, if you have to get separate cooling or whatever.
Yeah, I see.
So they have there's special hardware for it too. Like there's computers you can buy that are just mining rigs. And those are generally just like a bunch of like either like ASICs, like specialized cards, or like high-end graphics, processing units like GPUs, like video cards. They're usually like, like an open chassis, open air thing with like plenty of ventilation, plenty of fans. And all they're supposed to do is sit there and like connect to a mining pool and just like crunch fucking numbers all day. But there's, the price is, per rig, it's hundreds of dollars a month to run. And, each video card's, $800, $900. So you figure you have 6 to 8 of them in each box, per month. Like, it's not unfathomable to have a $500, $600, $1,000, electricity bill. So you have to be, mining more efficiently. You have to be making more than that in US dollars per month for it to make any sense. Yeah. And what's the ROI in buying that hardware initially anyway? So there's cloud contracts. You can go out and actually pay companies to basically rent space on their mining farms.
Well, like Amazon Web Services.
They're like
Rackspace.
they're specialized with just mining equipment. Where you would take out a contract
storage
on it, or there's the other way around where you could rent out your processing power, your mining rigs for other people. So you would join a pool, and people would rent out the space on your mining rigs to for some contract price, like just like you'd be basically like a private little AWS for the cryptocurrency mining guys. So it's a whole thing. And I mean, it's not probably going as crazy as it was a few months ago when it was, approaching $20,000, but it's still trendy. A lot of people that didn't know much about it got in earlier. They made a few grand or maybe more, depending on, how brave they were. But a bunch of people lost a lot of money very recently, like a lot of fucking money, because again, you might as well be trading penny stocks. The possibility for like a drastic profit in a very short period of time was there, but it was also the risk. I mean, the risk and the reward, one of them is going to get you.
Yeah.
Right. And usually, if you're not educated on a particular topic and you invest everything in it thinking it's going to be like, oh, this is it. This is, how does get rich quick usually turn out for people?
Yeah.
It's like everybody knows a guy, but do they know part 2 of the story where that guy fucking, took a slug to the head because he fucking lost everything and then fucking, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. It's a whole thing to it. I was looking into, I messed around with mining Bitcoin when it first popped off, like fucking 10 years ago, whatever it was, but no one thought it was going to be anything. And I'm like, well, how much time do I want to spend really doing this? And of course it did do whatever it did. And like a lot of people, messed with it, but I never took it seriously. But, then again, no one knew it was going to do this. I mean, maybe the guy came up with it or a few of his friends, but it is what it is. I mean, there's lots of ways to make money, but usually when things seem too good to be true, they have a tendency to sort of go that route.
Yeah. Those are the pyramid schemes that I know of.
Well, yeah. Well, there's even, you can tell something's really trendy or really popular whenever they have the what do they call them, like the Tupperware things, the pyramid scheme. What's the other word for it?
Multi-level marketing.
MLM. When a product or like a particular thing has like a multi-level marketing thing to it, you can tell it's
like this Transamerica life insurance. They reach out to me all the time.
Oh,
like,
they
do you want to supplement your income? Why just limit yourself to real estate? I'm like, because I'm a deal maker and that's what I do. I'm in real estate. And like, no, we want to get you on this team. You could join our team and make hundreds of thousands of dollars in your first month. How does that sound?
Man,
bullshit.
That's
how it sounds.
I hired a carpet cleaning service to come in here, and the guy is, saying how like every time people try to pitch him to do these like get rich quick things, like he does all of them. Like he said he was selling Amway. He said he was selling Comcast like Xfinity subscriptions at Best, like the people at Best Buy. Mm-hmm. Like it's the same thing. It's
my brother did that. My buddies and my cousin, they all did that, and they all left. Yeah. At some point, I mean, they made decent money. They went and hired people, and you have people, right? And you make points off of them, right? Like these guys, and then all of a sudden, like you're the guy knocking doors, and you find a team like you can make $20 an hour, or whatever, and you bring these guys, and they start knocking on doors. So you kind of take a step back, and they hire more people, and so on and so forth, and so it becomes kind of like a pyramid, and you're at this top, right? And then all of a sudden, those guys are like, hold on, I'm doing all the work here, and what are you doing to make all this money? And then they get a little bitter. They want to start their own team, or they leave, or they quit, whatever. I've seen it firsthand, and the guys end up with zero.
I had some friends back in the day that were like, they were convinced they were going to be the next Bill Gates selling Kirby vacuum cleaners. I'm like, yeah, more power to you. Yeah. They're like, people are always going to have floors. They're always going to need clean floors. I'm like, all right.
These days, I see it with Comcast, and I see it with solar panels too.
Yeah, a lot of people are trying to
door to door.
They're trying to sell you solar. They tried selling me solar at wherever I don't even remember where the hell it was. They're trying to sell me solar, and they're like trying to talk to me about how much money I'd save over standard electricity and all that stuff. And I'm like, I kept trying to tell them over and over. I'm like, I rent. Oh yeah, but do you think I'm like, listen to me right now. I'm not bothering anybody about anything. Yeah. It's just not happening. They're like, but you can, even keep your, PG&E thing, your Pacific Gas and Electric, and then you'd be putting money back into the grid. I'm like, I don't give a fuck about the grid. I'm not selling energy panels or solar panels. I'm just not interested. Yeah. They're like, yeah, but it's, there's clean energy thing and taxes and da-da-da. I'm like, again, I'm not interested. Have a great day. Just like when you're trying to sell me your fucking triple play Xfinity bundle, I don't want cable.
Yeah, come on, Clinton. What are you talking about? Landline, bro. You need a landline.
I don't want any of it. I don't have a landline. I don't have cable. I don't have any of it. I don't have any of the crap. I don't have a DirecTV. I don't have a Dish Network. I don't have any.
Dude, you and me both, man.
I'm not interested. I watch fucking an hour of TV per month, and it's The Flash without commercials. I watch The Flash, and that's it. I don't even watch the other shows anymore. I watch The Flash. He runs really fast. Fucking wears a red suit. That's fine. That's enough. It's enough television.
See, with me, like I'm not on the. I work practically 7 days a week, but I'm not on the road like you are. So for me, the TV is super important. But I am a cord cutter. But I do have me some Netflix. I have Hulu. I have the UFC Fight Pass. And for me, this is everything I need. Right? I have the Apple TV. I coordinate all of it, and it works perfectly. So I don't, because these days just cable can be like $120 or something like that. But you get a few of these like Netflix, you get a Hulu for each, $11 to $13 a month. And dude, you're set. And what I love about it, bro, you have it on the Apple TV. You have it on your iPad. You have it on your laptop. You have it on your phone. It's all synced. So I can pause it at home. You get in line at the DMV. You're waiting for a while, and you can pick up where you left off on your phone. Super cool. I pay for that convenience.
I got the only one I pay for is the YouTube thing to not have to watch the commercials.
Oh, the red.
That's it. Red? That's otherwise, I don't deal. There you go. I don't deal with any of it. I use YouTube. That I get most music out of there, and otherwise, I just can't be bothered. I haven't had cable in years. I had Sirius XM for a really long time, but then I got a different stereo in the car that didn't have Sirius. I just had the app on there because it was like an internet one. Mm-hmm. So I kept the streaming for a while, and then I realized I was doing more podcasts than Howard Stern, and it's like you listen to the same radio show for 25 years or something. It's like you could probably listen to a different radio show now.
Yeah.
And he's on YouTube sometimes too. Except
Oh, is he?
Well, they not on purpose. Like people put it on there, so I listen to it like an hour after it's over.
Yeah.
And they come on at like 6 o'clock in the morning, so it's 3 a.m. here. So by the time I wake up, actually listen to radio, the pirated version's already on YouTube. So it's like, someone's making ad money on that.
Yeah.
It's funny.
They work well. I mean, with Hulu, you can pay like $2 more a month and get it without ads. If you see my Instagram stories around 11:30 in the evening, there's always like Always Sunny in Philadelphia, which I've completely caught up with. I was a late bloomer with that.
They're still making that, or is that over?
They're going to make it next season. But, me and the wife, we got super big into it. We watched from episode 1 all the way through. Now we're on Seinfeld. Okay. Started watching all these shows. And they have all of the South Park, too. From season 1 all the way up to today. That's the next one I'm going to watch.
That's on the Comedy Central app, too, I think.
Is it?
Yeah, I think so.
Can you watch all of them? You can watch all of them?
I think so.
Okay.
Or it was. Yeah. But...
So, I mean, and with the Fight Pass is awesome. I love it just because, the EBIs, your Polaris, your UFC countdowns, or a few weeks after even the pay-per-view events, they upload the whole card, and you can just go from fight to fight, and they just break everything down. All of the tough, all of those shows, they have all of these extra things from Brazil and Latin America as well.
You still keep up with all those?
I watch all of them.
Is it not? It's on too fucking much.
Yeah, but that's the thing, Clinton. What I like about it, you're right. If it just broadcasted, I would never watch TV. But I watch it whenever I do. And with me, with my work, I'm always on the go, right? Like, for example, I can, let's say, have an appointment in San Francisco, and then my next appointment is in San Mateo, 3 hours between, right? And let's just say if I'm generally caught up with all the paperwork and everything I have to do, well, I'm not going to go home. I'm not going to drive back to San Jose. I find like a Phil's Coffee. I'll grab a nice cup of Joe, and I'll just sit there and I'll watch a tough episode. And then after that, I'll watch something for real estate, for example. Then I'll go back just so I can feel like, all right, I watched this for entertainment. I watched this to grow my business. And I'll watch this for entertainment, and kind of like that, So for me, since my schedule, it works perfect with my schedule.
Oh, it was funny. I memorized some coffee, some coffee geek verbiage. Mm-hmm. So when I went into Phil's Coffee last time, I was prepared. So I because you go into Starbucks, you have to speak fake Italian just to get a fucking cup of coffee.
Yeah.
It's kind of an old thing, to make fun of it or whatever. But
for the Starbucks.
Well, yeah, because they have 3 things that mean the word large. It's like small, medium, large, but like all of those words mean large, except for the biggest
Venti,
one,
grande. Make the thousands big.
So yeah, those mean the word large. Yeah. Like they're synonyms for the word large, just because grande is the word large. This is fucking. These are words that mean large in different ways, right? Except 20. Venti is 20, right?
Yeah.
That means fucking nothing in Italian. They use the metric system. So what the fuck is 20 ounces there? Why would you even call it that?
I never thought about that.
It's fucking asinine. Like, I'm not going to learn my fucking Italian from a fucking Seattle coffee hippie place. So, Phil's Coffee's fine, but I learned some coffee slang when I was listening to a podcast about this coffee expert, and basically how Ethiopia and Africa in general, like that region of Africa, was like the true origin of coffee, right? So I learned about the Ethiopian Yirgacheffe. It's like a coffee. It's like very it has like a tea flavor. It's very floral. So I asked if they had any Ethiopian Yirgacheffe when I was there, and the lady's like, "Yes, we do."
Oh,
yeah, she's like, so she was
like, "I see you, Clinton."
She was prepared for my coffee fucking fan
Snobness.
thing. Yeah. It was like the people in there all dressed like fucking Steve Jobs with their stupid turtlenecks, and fucking everybody has a MacBook Pro.
Because I got to be real with you, man. If I was a coffee barista, first of all, I hate my job in general because that's what I did. And if somebody walked up to me and said that, I'm like, oh, this motherfucker's at the back of the line right there. You sir, you're next. No, you're in the back of the line. I'm not putting up with your fucking snobby-ish.
No, because like they're over there. They're like, yeah, we have a fair trade, fucking no seals were beaten, fucking vegan. Oh, that was it. You heard me yelling about the one time I went to fucking Starbucks, right? I was trying to get they have these fucking English muffin sandwiches, but the one was ham and cheese with an English muffin, And I was like, "Yeah, can I just get the ham one right there?" And she's like, "We don't have ham here. We have it was like free range fucking something organic fucking gluten-free Canadian bacon or whatever."
Oh god.
I'm like, "What'd you say now?"
One of those.
And the way she said it was just like,
I thought they had fucking ham at Starbucks. What is she talking about?
no, they do. And they wrote the words Canadian bacon on it. And I'm like, you realize Canadian bacon and ham are the same fucking food, right? I was like, if you go to Canada and you ask for bacon, they're going to give you the shit that you get with eggs. You're going to get regular you're going to get bacon. There's no such thing as Canadian bacon. You can cut it different. It's still fucking ham. I was like, okay. I'm like, I'd like, one of your grande venti fucking entitlement sandwiches with fucking gluten-free Canadian ass fucking whatever that is. No, it's ridiculous. It's the same food. Like, I get it. You millennials, like, you don't know these things. We'll have to teach you. It's fine.
Yeah, that's shit's terrible. I hate that
just because your music's bad doesn't mean your mastery of the English language has to be bad too.
You know, for the longest time, I always thought Justin Bieber's name was Justin Beaver, like the animal beaver.
Oh.
And then I'm like, it's Bieber, right? B-E-B.
I don't know.
Intended. We said millennial music is terrible, and I thought of Justin
I don't
Bieber.
know what his music sounds like.
My nephew wants to be him. My nephew wants to be a singer. He's 5.
All right.
Yeah, and Justin Bieber is like his protege, not protege. Role model? I don't know. Whatever, one of those things.
Role model?
Yeah, I'm like, you're 5 years old. Just snap out of it.
I don't know. Fucking, he seems kid friendly, or he did, but now isn't he like edgier? Something like that?
Yeah. After he started hanging out with the money team.
Oh, does he still hang out over there?
He did for a while. I'm not sure if he still does, but
Well, maybe like that's he's gonna be like his English tutor.
yeah, possible.
I don't know. Is Floyd really doing MMA? Is that a thing?
I don't know.
No.
I would love to see that because, I mean, you just got to close the distance on him, get him back against Cage, and he's going bye-bye. Get him with a grappler like Damian Maia.
I think they were trolling us. They were saying it was going to be CM Punk fighting him.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
That'd be tremendous.
Yeah.
I'd like to see
My money would be on Mayweather in that situation.
in MMA. Yeah, well, it's just the level of athleticism, and it's not saying that pro wrestling isn't hard and doesn't require you to get your body beat up, but this is like saying who would win in a fight. This guy that's average like enthusiast or hobbyist skill level, like after weekend warrior level, average at a couple martial arts disciplines, versus the greatest fucking living boxer. Especially in terms of strategic point fighting type, and he doesn't get hit. He's a master at not getting fucking hit. And whether that's exciting to you or not doesn't change his bank account balance and his ability to not fucking get hit. We'll say, okay, we'll CM Punk's bigger. Well, if you compare the two of them, like what's 170 pounds of average versus 150 pounds of best in the world?
Right.
Like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, bro. Just look at him and Mickey Gall. I mean, Mickey Gall had his second UFC fight or whatever, and he fought CM Punk, and he just carved right through him. Poor CM Punk. I felt bad for the guy, especially because he's so straight lace.
It's
cool.
You know
what's interesting? I can't believe Floyd Mayweather is straight laced because when he talks, I felt like he did one too many like drops of acid when he was younger. He just talks like the biggest idiot.
Well, he's been punched enough back in the day.
So do you think it took him a while just to learn to be that defensive as a boxer?
Well, he grew up. His father was fucking very successful boxer. Even before that, he was raised this way. Yeah. So I mean, you don't think he gets hit in the gym? Of course he does. Yeah. I mean, it's got to rally you some. It's got to change you some. You got to have a few concussions you're not telling people about because you want to fucking keep doing what you're doing. But
yeah,
I mean, he's supposed to be straight laced. I've seen that man at the strip club. Stop it. He was we were up there for a bachelor party, for Jose's bachelor party. We're in the fuck is it? Was it Sapphires or something?
In Vegas?
Yeah, he was in there with his entourage. I mean, that was a lot of people. They had every single dancer was all over there.
Yeah.
I was trying to find a cup of coffee. We were out way too late. It was Shane's bachelor party.
Okay.
It was a number of years ago, but Yeah, how is he straight laced? The guy he owns a strip club. Like, how is that?
I don't know. Yeah, you got me there. I mean, I'm like, really? This guy's around in Vegas and around all this stuff and around this drugs and alcohol, and you're going to tell me that this guy doesn't do a few lines here or there? That was surprising to hear, but whatever.
He lives in Vegas. He owns a strip club, and he spends his time like as a hobbyist in them.
Yeah. That's what I'm like.
How is that straight laced?
It doesn't add up.
If you're sober and like you have your wits about you, why the fuck are you spending your time in strip clubs?
That's a good point.
No, seriously.
I did not think about that.
No, seriously. Yeah. This is fucking degenerate. It's degenerate behavior.
Yeah. Especially when you're someone like Floyd Mayweather. I mean, he can probably get any girl he wants.
He had that Miss whatever Jackson or whatever her name was, right? It's degenerate behavior.
Yeah.
It's addict behavior. You're in a synthetic environment, having people being nice to you and like, appease your insecurities that they're paid to be there to tell you how great you are. I mean, if you're the world's fucking greatest boxer, couldn't you get that attention at fucking Denny's anyway? Do you really need that?
Hey, by the way, are you going to go see Brendan Schaub? He's going to be at the Improv end of the month.
Who is?
Brendan Schaub.
Yeah.
He's going to be at the San Jose Improv here at the end of the month.
Oh.
I'm going to go check that guy out. I know that was kind of random, sorry.
Yeah, he's doing the stand-up comedy thing now, right?
Yeah,
Cool.
I was talking to Dave about it, and Dave was saying that because I haven't. Brian Callen, by the way, freaking killed it. I thought he did such a good job. I laughed so hard at his show. That was a great one. Brendan, I haven't seen live. I only just through the Fight Companions, and he's going to be on at the end of the month. So I'm like, yeah, he's going to be in our town, 2 exits away from my house. Why not?
I'd like to see both of them together.
Yeah, that would be better for sure.
I don't know. Like, I haven't seen him do stand up before. He's probably funny. I don't know.
Yeah, but Dave was telling me he's more of like a storyteller. Like that's the way he does it. He kind of does more, like kind of like that. But anyway, hopefully it's good.
It should be. I mean, he's got a pretty big following from the podcast he does, The Fighter and the Kid and stuff. Just pretty good stuff. Pretty
March
good
29th
show.
through 31st.
I don't know. I know I'm in Vegas this weekend. I'm in LA again the following weekend, which puts me, I think, at the 24th, 25th. Yeah, it's San Jose. Yeah, let me know what night you go. I might go.
Yeah, okay. I think I'm going on the 30th, March 30th. Yeah, which is a Friday.
Friday. All right. All right.
It's close.
They're really cool over there. They put us up when Joey was there last time and fucking hooked us up at the table and everything. Like, got us in early, and it's pretty neat. Pretty neat.
Oh, I like that. I like that one that you sent, by the way.
Yeah, it was cool. Like,
he reposted it.
Yeah, well, it came up as like the memories thing or whatever, and then I guess he shared. He's like savages, whatever. It's cool, man. It's very cool, dude. He's got he has what's his name on Yoel Romero staying with him like the last 2 days.
Oh, I can't wait to listen to that. Those 2 Cubans together.
Well, it's him. It's him translating in Spanish for Yoel. Like, I think Yoel has like some conversational English, but I'm pretty sure he's
Sorry.
I think he's doing both podcasts, and Joey Diaz is translating the Spanish to English for Yoel for the listeners and for Joe Rogan.
Oh, cool. Okay. Speaking of storytelling, Joey Diaz is an awesome storyteller. I love every time he's on Rogan show when his stories. I'm so engaged, and he says these stories so vividly where I'm like completely 100% listening. Like when he's talking about the debauchery I used to get into back in the day, for example, just like the last episode. And it's just, he's a really cool guy to listen to. I never knew who he was until you told me about him. And then he was also a fellow Jersey guy. And then I went, my 30th birthday when we went to Vegas. Remember when I went and saw him?
Yes.
And I told him, I'm like, yeah, I'm one of Clint Cronin's buddies. He's like, you talk Clinton. I said, hello. Kyle Kingsbury too. Tell Kyle I said hi. And his dad.
So when we went for your bachelor party, or was it?
Yeah, it was my bachelor party.
So,
Rogan.
I went back to whatever we were doing, I guess, over at the MGM. I guess we saw Rogan or like we did. No, we went to did we go to UFC? Did I
No,
go
we went to
the club.
We went to Ka Theater to see Rogan, and then we went to Jewel at Aria.
So I was supposed
Cole
to
was
I was supposed to record with Joey, and he's like I hit him on Facebook, and he's like, why didn't you text me? He's like I was waiting for you after the show. I'm like, oh fuck. Both times we're supposed to do stuff like just didn't happen. Like this last week he wound up having surgery on his ear. So he like wound up not being, and like he's like, yeah, call me on Thursday. I didn't get there till Saturday. I was like, oh shit, happened again. We got a request. Do you have any more strip club stories? This is the Instagram streaming. I'm sorry. So we're being asked for strip. Like, do we have any good strip club stories?
No, not really. But you know,
nothing I really want.
I don't. But
you know what? I do have a strip club story. I do. This is years ago. I was with my brother and this one guy, Simon. Was one of my like British friends, and my oldest brother over at where the fuck were we? I want to say. It might have been like Crazy Horse, or was it? Fuck. Anyway, we were in Vegas at the strip club, and we had just gotten to town. We're with my brother, and this was Christmas Eve or Christmas Day or some bullshit. And you already know it's bad. You're at the strip club on Christmas in Vegas. Like this is already fucking going no place fast. And I think my brother and the British guy were outside smoking something in the parking lot, like cigarette, weed, whatever the fuck they were doing.
A cig of weed.
This is like 10 years ago or something. And I'm inside just kind of hanging out, waiting for him to get back in. And the British guy had been drinking quite a bit and smoked and ate and like throws up all over the parking lot in front of the car. Just fucking.
At least it was outside, huh?
Yeah, like it's really cold. It's December, and you know Vegas. It gets either like very hot or very fucking cold. Like there's that desert cold, and so he throws up in the parking lot. Then just gets water, goes back about his business. Little chewing gum, whatever.
Yeah,
and They come back in a little while later and tells me the story. He's like, yeah, I threw up in the parking lot. He's like, and then these like gangster dudes, like these like, Suge Knight looking like straight gangsters. And one of them's in a wheelchair, like, fucking grill everything.
Yeah.
But the guy, they're pushing the one in the wheelchair. He's like,
so he was shot.
He's like, yeah, we got to get the fuck out of here. I was like, what? I was like, dude, they're not bothering nobody. Don't be racist. They're like, no, we're not being racist. Simon threw up all over the parking lot, and they parked like their Escalade right next to him and like wheeled through the park. Like they were pushed him through the wheelchair through this like big puddle of vomit. And like, they don't really have mud flaps on them. So like the wheels are like kicking up fucking this guy's disgusting, like all over the back of this guy's wheelchair, terrible. Jacket, pants, everything. And they didn't realize it, but they're like, if you walk by him, you can totally smell it. And I can't stop laughing. And I'm not trying to like point and laugh at the OGs over there. Like they seem pretty serious. Like this is a decent sized entourage. No, like they basically they didn't get puked on, but because their wheelchair path was in the trajectory, like they wheeled right through this puddle, and it like you could see as you walked by them, it made a pretty good mess. And yeah, it was pretty rough. It's not necessarily like a strip club story, but it happened at the strip club.
Yeah.
And we're sitting here like laughing at these gangster guys, and I'm pretty sure they would have killed us if they realized it was our drunken British friend that did that.
Yeah, man, especially Vegas, all those crazy like open carry, whatever. These guys probably have like AR-15s in their Escalade and shoot me up, like make me a Swiss cheese.
Well, it's an open carry state, but you can get your concealed carry pretty easily there. And like, I'm not trying to judge or anything, but because I have my concealed carry, but I don't look like a gangster or anything. But
you definitely don't.
These guys look like they'd shoot you just to shoot you,
just
like,
for a hobby.
No, they were serious. They were serious.
Dude, you know what? If I ever freaking had guns, like I've never owned guns, but let's just say if I did, and I was like, you know what? Tomorrow I was like, I want to be a gun owner too, bro. I would want the holster. I want to be wearing suspenders, zoot suit style, and I want to have the two guns, the 245s. One right hand reaches in the left pocket, left hand reaches in the right pocket. I'm like, how you like me now?
You're picturing you as like this dude with a Tommy gun from like Boardwalk Empire. I'm picturing you as Jim Carrey as the mask with that yellow suit. With
It's a Tommy gun.
I'm picturing it a little bit differently.
I want
But
to have laser sights, bro. Be like, holla at me now. What's up?
there's only like so many times you can say the word gun before you wind up on a watch list. You realize?
Yeah. And I mean, my ethnicity doesn't really help out. That's
No,
why I'm like,
that's-
you know what, y'all? I'm going to lay low.
That's specifically why I said
Yeah. And I'm like, I'm excited. Listen, just to let everybody know, I made pre-TSA check. So now I'm excited. You know, I don't get profiled like that. So I want to keep it that way. And my last name is very, people are like, oh, Moridi, are you Italian? I'm like, sure.
See,
It's not like,
it's bellissimo.
yeah, it's not like Jafarzad, like some like long, like Iranian last name, like, you know, like a lot of us are accustomed to having. Mine is very, very neutral, and I like that. It's good for business too.
Well, if you like combine yours and your dad's name, like it's like Nima Moridi.
Nimal, yeah.
That could be like more like Eastern sounding.
Nima Moridi, yeah. For him, they're like, Al, what is that short for? His name is Ali.
He's like Albert.
Albert, yeah, duh.
Mind your business.
Like, my name, hello, how are you? My name is Albert Moridi.
See, that sounds like he's making pizza too.
Yeah.
Even the accent, you just
Well, you know what's funny? He's
or like Count Chocula.
He's the, you know, like you've heard of Tiger Mom, the book. He's Tiger Dad. And he's been like that ever since we were kids, you know. My dad's always done really well in his business and his endeavors in his career. But he's never, ever, like, really helped us financially. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was always like...
He just raised you and paid for the house and shit, fed you.
I mean, like, yeah, I mean, with those types of things, yeah, he
The
did.
basics,
but
a Cadillac.
like when I was like 14, you know, like I went and got a job at Togo's. You know, my parents were married. I didn't come from a broken home. But he always just made us work because he always wanted us just to show that value of money, right? So what he would always tell me, I'm like, come on, Dad, like, oh, you know, you make so much money, like, I really want this car or whatever. And he would be like, hey, I'm a bald Middle Eastern man and I can barely speak English. What's your excuse? You got to go out and get yours. That's what he would tell me. He's like, I've been in this country for over 30 years and I can still barely speak English. How do you not make more money than me already? You were born here, right? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, you went to a really good school, right? For like college. I'm like, yeah. And he's like, so how do you not make more money than me? And I'm like, damn, I just got taken out the game.
Previously, my favorite Persian person ever was the Iron Sheik. But your dad's approaching that level. Like,
Yeah.
he says stuff, and you're like, "Yep, your dad's a badass."
That guy doesn't play, man. And honestly, that's the reason why. Like, you know, we've talked about it on the podcast a few times before, like why I'm so big into combat sports. It was because of him. And, you know, even when I didn't want to do it when I was a kid, he like put me in like just to kind of quote unquote toughen me up.
You'll be a wrestler.
You're going to be tough. He was the wrestler. I was the striker, you know, because he would compete a lot, like in college and high school back in Iran. You know, we were Iran is very, very, very big in, I would say, number one, it's like wrestling, then weightlifting, then soccer.
Iran
like,
number one. America, hak dui. Remember?
Yeah.
The Iron Sheik?
He was, you know, credit to him, Khosrow, I forget what his name is.
Khosrov.
Yeah, something like, yeah.
Have you seen his documentary?
I did because
It's so good.
It's a very, very good documentary. And he was really, really smart in pandering at that time to that proud American person, right? Because, I mean, those times, Iran, my whole life, this diplomacy between America and Iran has always been very difficult. But especially right in the early 80s when America seized all that money from that the Shah was supposed to, you know, get weapons from, and then they got mad and they stormed the embassy and they kept those hostages for a little over a year.
Yep.
Right? So there was so much anti-Iranian sentiment in this country. And then this guy comes in, right? And he's just like, F America, you know, and people are like, oh, fuck, F you, you know. But it's ratings, right? People hate Floyd Mayweather. People at that time probably hated the Iron Sheik. People a lot of the time
Fucking really hated him.
You know what I'm saying? People see, and not to the same extent, but sometimes they see, like, let's say McGregor's arrogance, and they want him to lose, you know? But what do they? That's pay-per-view buys. They buy to watch. People buy to watch Floyd lose, and he hasn't lost yet.
See, that was the first pay-per-views was wrestling, because so initially that was the first sport on TV that before it was real cartoonish. that's what America really watched. It's like if you look at like the early, television history in the United States and what like really, when they started really picking up the national broadcasts and stuff, wrestling has its roots in there. That was like one of the things everyone fucking watched. Like everyone, not just, it wasn't, baseball and hockey and no. That was the thing, like 50s and 60s, that kind of era. Yeah. Then fast forward to where you're starting to finally talk about like pay-per-view and all this stuff, and like when you had national channels, you had the HBOs and MTVs kicking in, right? Pro wrestling I want to say like the first WrestleMania was like the first pay-per-view basically. Wow. So predating that a year to like 1984. Is 83 before that you had Iron Sheik just pissing people off. People love to hate him. Yeah, and they did a really great job like playing on kind of like xenophobia and
they tune in to watch him lose. They wanted him to get his ass kicked.
And right? they used him to build Hulk Hogan. That was basically they built him up as like this tyrant. Like during the hostage crisis and
Hulk Hogan was like Captain America. Huh?
Yeah, he was the American hero. He was going to be the white meat babyface American guy that was going to come save the day. And they basically built that whole like Hulkamania rock and wrestling MTV movement off of him beating Iron Sheik. And then that dude, he started like a multi-billion-dollar industry, right? Yeah. Like look where it is now. It's a fucking publicly traded thing. It's a huge business. And that started with just xenophobia and racism back in the 70s and 80s and stuff.
Well, it's funny because of the Iron Sheik, and I watched that documentary because you after you told me about it. So some of these things I knew about him, he was a legit, bona fide like world champ wrestler back in Iran. Oh yeah, he trained with the best. Like Ghulam Reza Takhti, like our top wrestlers from Iran, like he was a part of those. He went to the Olympics, Asian Games.
His predecessor, the guy that came before him that actually was the Olympic champion and everything, like he was actually assassinated.
Yeah, Takhti.
And after that happened, that's when he basically said "fuck this" and bounced out of Iran. Because he was thinking like if his popularity eclipses that of the Shah of Iran. He didn't want to be fucking next.
100%.
That's exactly what he was starting to become kind of a hero on his own, even though like he was the private guard of the Shah of Iran.
Yeah.
It's a crazy story. Then he comes here, and you got a lot of these fake wrestlers that are in that whole scene, and then you have this guy like. This guy was a badass. He'd stretch it.
He was a real grappler, dog.
Oh,
big time.
Especially coming like that was the best fucking amateur wrestlers in the world were coming out of that country.
So Ghulam Reza Takhti was the best wrestler in Iran, just like you said, 100% right. And once Shah's brother, because Shah, he was America's puppet, right? I mean, he did a lot of great things for Iran, in my opinion, with like kind of like westernizing it, which I am for, and just modernizing it and like not, let's say, relying solely on the exportation of oil, but more like in textile, pharmaceuticals. Like he brought so many women into the education industry. He brought women out of like the home and put them in the schools, and modern clothes, things like that. These are all things that I'm so big on, 100% for. So I respect the Shah a lot for those things. But at the same time, he was very corrupt. His family, for example, a lot of these oil contracts, how he was with America. The Iranians didn't want him there. They kicked him out in 1953. The CIA came and overthrew, the only democratically elected official we've ever had in Iran, which was, Mohammad Mossadegh, with a coup d'etat operation Ajax. It's a CIA thing. Anyway, so with all of this stuff, there's a reason why I gave all this background story, but so Shah's brother walks into this arena, right? And it's like a big wrestling meet that's happening in Iran. It's like, Russia's involved, all around that whole region. Nobody claps for Shah's brother. And then Takhti, surprisingly, he was in the back because he was being hella modest. He was coaching one of the guys. And he didn't want to come outside, he didn't want to like whatever, take the stage of one of his guys, like let's say one of his fighters say like he's going to be cornering. And then one of the American wrestlers recognized him because he trained with him a lot when Takhti would come here. He pulled Takhti behind from the curtain and brought him out, and everyone saw him. They all just got up, and they were going crazy, like they didn't expect to see him. It's kind of like when you're watching the UFC events, and all of a sudden, let's say they panned it on Hodge Gracie or something, like, oh snap, and everyone starts clapping when they see it on the Jumbotron or something like that. A week later, he's dead, and people say, oh, he had a heart attack. The guy was fucking if you see his pictures, he was super healthy.
25 years old.
Yeah, Shaw X, because like this guy's getting too popular. They didn't clap for his brother, they clapped for him. So this is who Shaw was, right?
Remember the Dictator movie?
Yeah. Yeah, he's done. Yeah, and that's what happened,
good,
So, yeah, and then that's why, just like you said, that's why the Iron Sheik was like, dude, F this. But one thing I never understood, I don't know, I mean, he's an actor, right? When he became one. He became from an actual professional athlete to an actor. The clothes he would wear wasn't Iranian. It was like Saudi, Gulf state, like the headband. Iranians don't wear that.
Yeah, their wardrobe wasn't exactly region. It wasn't region accurate for sure.
Yeah, let's say like Mexico and the United States are next to each other. You take a guy from Michigan and he walks out with a sombrero and cowboy boots, like "Hola, señoritos" or whatever. Like you're like, dude, really?
Like, sir.
Like that's how we Iranians look at him. Like, come on, bro. But he's an actor. I don't blame him, man. Go get your money. Go get your money, Iron Sheik.
Exactly, man. And the camel clutch hurts. So, I mean, if you're stupid enough to wind up in that position, you deserve to.
I guess so. I guess I'm stupid enough because you put me in that a few times on the mat. I've never done wrestling before, though, in my defense. I don't know much about those.
Fucking camel clutch. So ridiculous, man. There's it was funny. They were trying to talk about like the, which fake wrestling moves and sort of like working, jiu-jitsu and MMA and stuff, and a lot of them it's like if you found yourself in that position and you didn't explicitly like allow someone to put you there, like you deserve to be submitted that way. Like if you do get caught in the figure 4 leg lock or anything like that, you fucked up pretty substantially, because it takes so much effort to like.
That's the one that when you anchor my leg, right? God, I can't really describe it on the podcast right now, but I'm on the ground and you isolate my leg and you kind of bring it up.
Imagine like pulling De La Riva guard and someone grabs the leg that's holding that guard, pulls it all the way across your other leg, lays down and makes it like a lattice with the other leg over your top leg, which is also barring the knee of the bottom leg.
Yes, okay, yes, you've done that to me before.
Painted a picture. Yeah, it's like if you aren't like, hey, hold on real quick, let me try something. If you really get caught in that. Wow, you fucked up. Man, it's getting late. Hour and 34 minutes in. Again, congratulations to all those guys, those fierce warriors, male and female alike, that competed at the IBJJF Pans. I was down there watching some of the matches on the last day. Props to everybody that competed. It was awesome. I had just gotten there and saw like the homeboy Nate Mendelsohn get a nice bow and arrow choke on his guy.
Shout out Nate.
Oh, he killed it. Saw quite a few people. Tess won, as you mentioned. Judy Ennerly, that's the person I mentioned earlier. She got silver. Nam competed. Buzzsaw, he got to the quarterfinals or semifinals. Mark Heinzer, who'll be like bonus content on this podcast as well. He competed as well, a little bit under the weather, did good, lost by points, but again, really deep divisions. Anybody in Masters, you were looking at again Ryan Bernardino. He competed at Master 2 black belt heavyweight division, 19 competitors in his bracket. Mark Heinzer had 27. I think he was like Master 3 or 4 at black belt lightweight. So like each division was stacked. It seemed like there was as many people at some of the Masters division as there were at black belt. And again, that's due to the qualifying points being required for the adults to sign up this time. So more of those guys were moving it over to Masters just to kind of be able to compete if they didn't have the 20 points required. Like they hadn't been doing IBJJF tournaments leading up to that. But again, fun weekend. Congrats to all the competitors. Again, Leandro Lowe for winning heavyweight and absolute and heavyweight. Keenan Cornelius, he won super heavyweight division. Again, Gianni Grippo. Gazari Matuda, she won her division. A lot of great competitors, a lot of great action. It's a long tournament, like 4 days or whatever. But glad to be home, glad to be back in the Bay Area. Be back out to LA in 2 weeks. I'll be in Vegas this weekend. I'm gonna go see the homeboy Robert Drysdale. Get to go roll over there again. Guy's a monster.
I'm gonna be going to him next time I'm in Vegas too.
You got it. Yeah, definitely got to go over there and train. Robert's the man. So anyway, got any shout outs, plugs? Ninja Realtor, right?
Yeah. Shout outs to One World Jiu Jitsu.
We both got the shirts today.
We rocking the One World Jiu Jitsu.
Yeah, we both
shirts.
have One World Jiu Jitsu t-shirts.
Shout outs to our satellite campus at AKA Sunnyvale, the little gym that could, which I like to call it. We're a small gym, but we got some savages out there, man, and super thankful for the amazing coaching that we have. At a given time, we can have 3 black belts on that half mat, and I think that's freaking phenomenal. I love the fact that we have that, and yeah, we make those wheels run. That's awesome. But yeah, you can get at me at The Ninja Realtor on Instagram, SV Ninja Realtor on Twitter, SV standing for Silicon Valley. I'm on Facebook, on the professional, and on the personal, LinkedIn. I like to do all the social stuff along with everything else that I do in real estate. And yeah, follow me. I follow back. And thanks for listening.
Cool. Again, One World Jiu Jitsu at Clint Cronin. Subscribe, like, share, send to a friend. Tell everybody. I'll be teaching this coming Monday at AKA Sunnyvale at 5:30 p.m. So I'll be there for that class. You can catch me Wednesday and Friday at 6:30 a.m. Holding down the early class, and I'll probably be doing some One World classes on Friday nights moving forward at 6:30. But I'll see, as I'm gonna be out of town for the next 2 weeks. I'll probably start that up when it starts getting a little bit warmer. But in the meantime, check me out at Clint Cronin on Instagram, all that stuff. And thanks again. And be sure and check out Want versus Need for just awesome gis and gear from a local brand. If you're Bay Area, you don't represent Want versus Need.
Yeah,
they represent you. That's Bay Area, right?
Got good stuff, man.
Local brands, it's all about keeping it strong in the community. So big shout out and thanks to Al from Want versus Need for always keeping me hooked up with the
dopest threads out there.
Dopest threads and gear and gis and all that stuff. So thank you again. Thanks for everybody who checked out the live stream on Instagram, and new content dropping on the regular. Be sure and subscribe. I'm on Apple Podcasts and everywhere else that high quality on-demand digital audio can be found. Thanks again. Much love. Clint Cronin Show 2018, Want versus Need.
And we out this.
Ninja Realtor, Nima Moridi. Peace.